Welcome to another episode, everyone. Jasmine Crockett, the representative from Texas. She's running for the Senate. And here she explodes. She goes off on ICE and Donald Trump. She believes that ICE is reminiscent of slave patrols, that ICE is indeed white supremacists. They are white supremacy cloaked in law. Now, I don't agree with everything that Jasmine Crockett stands for. She sort of stands with Israel. We'll get into that. And I believe that anyone that supports Israel or stands with Israel, they're selling their souls. Israel is committing genocide, of course. And in fact, 153 Democrats just voted to send Israel $3.3 billion. They have been, in fact, Israel has received more funding from America than anyone else since 1975. Jasmine Crockett, she supports Israel in many facets. Again, we'll break that down. But let's let her speak about ICE and the crimes that they are out here in the country committing.
I've heard so much and I have prepared remarks. And if you know anything about me, you never know where I'm going. And frankly, I don't either, because I have already cried this morning. So I'll just start here. As a civil rights lawyer, I'm incensed. As an American, I'm embarrassed. As a human, I'm infuriated. And as a member of Congress, I am immovable in my pursuit of accountability. You see, right now, people want to pretend as if this is right or left, but I'm here to tell you that this is about right or wrong. And it is very sad that the only people that are sitting here are members of the Democratic side. So I guess we just want to stand on the side of right. For once, we will be associated with being right instead of left.
Well, actually, the Democrats are not standing on the side of right. These liberals and these white liberals in particular, they tend to manipulate the people, particularly the so-called minorities. I say so-called because the darker people in the world are the majority in the world. They're only the minority. We are only the minority here in America. Worldwide, we are the majority. And the Democrats, the white liberals, Malcolm X warned us about them. They're devils in disguise. And they have no backbone. They're weak. They're spineless. They will not stand up to the Republicans. They will not stand up to Trump. Again, 153 Democrats just voted to send money to Israel, $3.3 billion. This vote took place a day or so ago. And I believe it was, I would have to double check, but 50-something Democrats voted no for this. But overwhelmingly, it passed. They voted yes. But they're supposed to be standing against the genocide in Israel, but they have no backbone, and a lot of them are receiving money from AIPAC. Jasmine Crockett does not receive money from AIPAC. Nevertheless, one of the people that AIPAC sponsors, she does receive kickbacks from. We'll get into that, as I said. But I'm not here this is not a smear campaign for Jasmine Crockett. As I said, I actually support her and support her politics for the most part, but her being a progressive, not necessarily so, because again, she's standing with Israel. But the Democrats, when she said to the Democrats, I guess only the Democrats are here, so we're the only ones that believe in doing right. No, on the surface, but a lot of it is manipulation, and the Republicans are just more out front with the fact that they don't care about any of this stuff. They're just not hiding it. And the Democrats are into acting and pretending as if they care about these issues, but really they're in cahoots and in bed with the Republicans.
Because my question to any of you, and I just go down the line and ask you, is it right or wrong to arrest someone because of the color of their skin?
Absolutely not.
Is it right or wrong to arrest somebody because of their accent?
Wrong.
Is it right or wrong to arrest somebody because they were exercising their constitutional rights?
It is wrong.
Is it right or wrong to arrest somebody because they simply disagree with you?
It's wrong.
All right, so it seems like y'all all went to elementary school and y'all can tell right from wrong. I'm not really sure what is going on with ICE right now, but I can tell you, and as we heard earlier, this is pure racism. I don't know why we want to tinker around with it and pretend as if it's something other than what it is. I like to call a thing a thing. And he has told us time and time again who he was when he talked about certain people being from certain shithole countries. Those are his words. Only reason I'm cussing in this moment. When he said things like they are eating the cats and dogs. We knew exactly what we were getting. And some people are saying, I don't know how we got here, but I do. Because we know that
Yes, and of course she's talking about Nazi Trump and his Nazi regime. All of them are Nazi wannabes, and they're trying to push Nazi Germany here in the country. That's exactly what they're doing. And Jasmine Crockett is just here referring to the fact that a lot of people have been coming out since the Trump presidency here, and a lot of these people triple Trump. They voted for him all 3 times. And now when these things are happening in the country, when Trump is ruining the country for the 2nd time, people are acting shocked, saying, how did we get here? I don't know how we got, I can't believe this is happening. Mind-boggling. And she's just pointing out the fact that, how did you not know? How could you not see this coming? He never hid the fact that he was a Nazi. He never hid that fact. He campaigned on deportation. How is this a shock to everyone? He said that he was going to do this. Obama too, on another note, side note, his deportation record is horrific. Obama himself helped to further white supremacy while he was in the White House. All he did was pass same-sex marriage. He can do anything for black people. We'll get into that as well.
I believe that you said something to the effect of cruelty and humiliation are the point. That's what you said, Miss Patty. Because when we look at other places, say places that did things like, go door to door, looking for people, as they had to hide out, say in an attic. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Or the images that I have seen of people being attacked by law enforcement, whether we're talking about dogs or fire hoses, it seems very reminiscent of something that we have seen before in this country. And then people get offended and try to say I'm too black, but the reality is that y'all never let the fact that I am black go. So I'm going to be clear about one thing. I know my good black history. And so when I look and I say, and I will say it loud and proud because the DH secretary had a few choice words for me, but this looks like modern day slave patrols. And they have been sanctioned by this Supreme Court. Whoever thought we would live in a country that progress looks like having a Supreme Court that says, yes, it is okay to look at somebody or to listen to their accent and give permission to grab them. The last time that I checked, ICE is only supposed to be doing immigration enforcement. And right now we have a record number of U.S. citizens that have not only been arrested, but as we saw with Renee, that have been killed, that have been maimed, that have been bullied, that have been brutalized, that have been unlawfully arrested. Y'all, we are living with an abuser right now. That is who Trump and his administration is. And frankly, I think we all have.
Yeah, and, rest in peace to Renee Nicole Good. And I'm sure that Jasmine Crockett is just mentioning her name now because this is what is on the lips and the tongue of everyone in the country, or a lot of people in the country, as far as when they're talking about ICE and their Gestapo tactics. They're mentioning Renee Good, of course, and her being shot in the face 3 times. But let's not forget that Keith Porter, and people would like to justify his killing, saying that he was shooting in the air and what have you. We don't really know exactly what happened there other than he lost his life. He was also murdered by ICE. And so while I respect Renee Nicole Good, I've already spoken on her and covered her situation. I believe that it was tragic and traumatic and it should not have happened. I believe that it was cold-blooded murder. But I also want to bear in mind and want everyone else to bear in mind that Keith Porter Jr. was also murdered by ICE on December 31st. And no one is really, you have to dig deep to even find a story about it for the most part. And no one was in protest really of ICE until this situation happened with Renee Nicole Good. Because now everyone feels like, these people are unhinged, ICE, they're lawless, and that we can be next. They can attack anyone. They're out here killing white people and white women now, then no one is safe. So this is what the outrage is really about. As long as they've been killing the darker peoples of the world in this country, no one was outraged about it, at least no one other than black people, generally speaking. Now that it has hit closer to home, everyone seems to understand what we've been saying all along, what we've been going through all along in this racist country. I'll be going for hours, so let me just let her finish.
A little bit of PTSD, but if you know anything about a domestic abuser, the one thing about them that you need to know is that they are some of the biggest cowards that you will ever find. What they can't stand is when you actually fight back. And so thank you so much for everybody in Minnesota. But it is time for our entire country to stand together. Because if you don't recognize that we are all in the same sinking ship, whether you are black, white, Latino, African, whoever you are, the reality is that we have an administration that has decided that they are going to ignore our constitutional rights, and we will not stand for it. Otherwise, our democracy will fall. So I just got this to say because she is planking
Thank you, Representative Crockett. We got some people that got to make some planes. So.
Jasmine Crockett, representing Texas 30th District. Jasmine Crockett right there. Okay, that's what she had to say, that ICE is reminiscent of slave patrols, that people are hiding in attics and this and that they're murdering people on the street, kidnapping people, and that she doesn't understand. She's talking about the abuse of power. And she doesn't understand, as I do not, how everyone is so surprised about what Trump has been doing. But at the end of the day, that's neither here nor there. Hopefully everyone has learned their lesson in supporting an individual like this. And when someone says who they are, we must believe them. He's been told us who he was. Some people just chose to turn a blind eye to it. And now they're paying the consequences, suffering. They're paying the cost. And they want everyone else to get involved, for their silliness, for their silly decisions. Black people, we voted for Kamala. We told y'all not to put Trump in there. What the hell was going to happen? You didn't want to listen. And now you want us to come out in the street and die. But again, that's neither here nor there at this point. We all must indeed, because they did not listen and put this individual in power, and now we all have to pay the price. And now we all do have to fight this situation because the paramilitary Gestapo group, ICE, is out here lawless and murdering people in broad daylight. They're trying to take over the country. They have taken over the country. We must take the country back. There you have it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Stay safe, stay free, and power to the people.